Welcome everybody to MAGDX episode 8, number 8. We're getting close to 10.
The Ocho.
Close. The Ocho, yes, ESPN the Ocho, which I hope they ever bring that back because it's the best. I am GI Gamer 1981 on Facebook and Instagram. You can follow me on there. And this sexy author right here, and also Stephen King's arch nemesis, is Tristan. He's currently working on his video game console collectors and graphic artist for premium edition games. He's created a sequel to his console collector's field guide, a 4-volume condominium packed with nearly 2,400 pages of consoles, handheld, tabletops, and checklists for thousands of games, both popular and everyone's favorite, rare. Available in digital or hard copy editions. It's currently on Kickstarter with 15 days to go. You better get your butts on there and start pledging. Currently, he's at $12,132, above his $10,000 mark. So it is a guaranteed book with currently 47 backers. Let's get him to 50 by the end of the week.
Yes.
You don't have to buy all the books. Remember, it's a la carte. Wherever you decide you want. Let's say you want Super Nintendo, Sega. There's specific books for everything. If you just want an index of games, that's also on there too. How is your week going so far, Barra?
It's going good. Well, this morning started out really crappy. I was in a super pissy mood, even before it started. And then I get halfway to work and I'm like, MFer, I forgot my badge. So
that's the worst.
It's the worst. I was not having it, dude. I was on the phone with Natalie at the time, and she thought that I was about to get into an accident or something. The way I yelled, but she was so nice and actually brought the badge to me, so I didn't have to go all the way back and then all the way back to work.
That's the worst.
Later. Yeah, but I wasn't exactly late because I'm doing some stuff on the side for my work. I showed you the graphic design stuff. They want to make sure that I'm logging the hours that I spend at home making that stuff for them for work.
Yep.
So it all evens out.
That's awesome.
One thing to add for my book, a lot of things. One thing that people don't realize is if you buy the books on Kickstarter, they're discounted. They're not going to be discounted whenever they're available later on premiumeditiongames.com. So if you want to get them cheaper, you get them now.
I would, for sure.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Get that discount. Well, my side, I'll tell you what happened. Let's talk old man talk. This will be exclusively on YouTube, by the way. So just let you know. When we do pickups today, it's exclusively on YouTube if you want to see them. I had a random AC thing happen. Every week so far, I kept randomly cutting off, and my house was getting extremely hot. So I talked to my neighbor, a.k.a. the lawyer, and he basically said, hey, I had the same problem. He said I had a circuit breaker in my house. It basically fried. And so he had his electrician put up to 40 amps.
Yeah.
So I decided to go downstairs and check. Technically, you're not supposed to be at 40 amps on that AC. I'm just letting you know that. That I let him know too. But this one right here that I have in my hands, it was basically like lava when you touched it. It burnt the crap out of you. Which, if you have a bad circuit breaker, it can cause a fire. So me and my my father-in-law Joe, we went to the store and we went to basically Home Depot didn't have it, Lowe's didn't have it, so I had to go to Menards on Bellevue. So I stopped at 3 places to try to get it. They only had one left. I got it, and then basically we installed it. And if you never worked with my father-in-law, let me tell you a funny story about him. When we get together, it starts off war. I instigate him to get him fired up, and he tries to instigate me to get fired up. So we get mad at each other, and then we just start laughing about it. So I kept asking him, I was like, are you sure you know how to hook those cables up? And I'm like, you sure you don't want to turn the electricity off? And he's like, don't effing tell me what to do. And then I'll be laughing and stuff. And I'm like, are you sure? Because one time it was really funny. He was doing a plug for my brother-in-law, and he stuck the screwdriver too close to the thing, and it lit him up. And I started laughing, and all he was doing to me the entire time was like, fuck you. Don't fucking laugh at that. He's like, I could have died. And I was like, but it was hilarious because I told your ass not to turn off the stuff. So we always get in these shenanigans when we have to do stuff. But it's fixed, and my house is completely free of nice cold air now instead of muggy ass like it was for the last couple of days. Also, I am still dealing with me being working by myself. And like this morning, my cohort had his car robbed, which sucks for him. He got broken into.
Oh.
And so he had to deal with that. So I had to do the whole thing by myself today. It's not a big deal. I'm glad he's okay and didn't get hurt or anything like that. But what he did was he bought this screen. It's the one I told you. He bought the screen from Japan. It was from Tesla.
Yeah.
And he hooked it into his truck. And so when someone saw it,
did that get stolen?
Yeah, that got stolen.
Oh no!
He just got it like 2 weeks ago. So I feel bad for him. So I hope everything works out for him with insurance and all that stuff. But yeah, and our other fun that we've had dealing with my Hue Sync that just really wants to do what it wants to do. It's kind of like Catch Me Outside. It'll turn on when it wants to turn on. So
yeah.
It's on its way. But here's the funny thing. I got both lights, right? The clips show an ETA of the end of the month. So I'm going to get the lights before I get the clips.
Wait. What did you end up getting?
So I got the glowy version of the lights, like the Hue, like the what they call them, Hue Play. The ones that wrap behind the TV, the 75-inch ones.
Okay, yeah.
And then the two of the speaker ones. So like the two big.
Those should actually have the clips, like the mounting clips in the box.
Yeah, but you got to remember, I didn't buy them brand new. They're only counterparts.
Oh, I forgot.
So yeah, because basically, just to let you guys know, if you want cool lights behind your thing to interact with your games, it costs pretty expensive. Just for those lights, it's like $288 just for the lights, and I was able to get all these lights for like under $200. So
it was funny too, because it started. I got like one Alexa, like one Amazon Echo, and then Coffin comes over. He's like, "Oh, that's cool." And he gets an Amazon Echo and some lights. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then I get some more lights. And then he's like, oh, that's cool. And we're not like one-upping each other, but we just want the other person's cool shit. So,
well, what happened was I showed him the Hue Sync first. I showed you the Hue Sync first. And you're like, I don't want those. So I had to buy a new one thinking because my lights. What happens is when I turn it on, it works when I turn the power on. After the power... after I change it, like let's say I change the switch or something like that, it doesn't work. Like the lights just dim. I don't know why. So I've done a new Hue Sync. I've done new HDMI cords. I've done a new receiver, and now the only thing I can think of is these lights. So now I'm doing the lights. But when I showed him when it was working, he loved it. So then he did it, and then I was like, "Wow, you actually got those? I want to get those too." And literally, we turned our basements into a gigantic techno club. I literally let me show you guys on YouTube. So now I got a freaking controller thing on top of my TV now. It's ridiculous. I think we love arcades so much and that we lived there so long that I think it's like our safe place. Like, we gotta have neon.
For real, dude. It's so comfortable. Like, it gives so much comfort in like the nostalgia, just soaking it in. These games right here just giving me energy like a spirit ball.
Mine's listening to Sandstorm and playing SmackDown versus Raw too.
Dude, imagine if we could actually find some like vintage arcade carpet. Like that's like the pinnacle. I mean, I think once we get that, we've got everything we want.
Dude, the original plan for this basement was I was going to do it, but the square footage of this, I was like,
it's insane.
It's about $3,000 to $4,000 just to get the carpet, not including the pads and everything that you have to do for it. Can't make this place look like a bowling alley. I would technically have to have a bowling alley as well.
Yeah, it's too bad.
But yeah, that was my crazy week. Today we're going to talk about one more thing before I get yelled at. Jeff Gatsky. What happened was I tried to not give out a real name last week, and someone got a little like, "Hey, why are you calling me Gleese?" I tried to be cool. I didn't want to give out names for it, but also I was on 23 hours of staying up before I did the last podcast, and I literally made a green tea, Arizona tea, and I took 2 monsters and dumped them in there, as I call them the go-go juice, and I was like wrecked last week. So if I screwed up anything, I'm sorry.
Full throttle with a patriotic eagle today.
I'm cheating
on Nos. I'm sorry, Nos. Sorry, Nos.
My zero sugar. Sponsor me. I love you.
If you sponsor me, I'll only drink Nos. I promise.
I will hook an IV of Dr. Pepper up if you sponsor me, Dr. Pepper. I will walk around with it for reals. But I'm sorry, sir. I apologize to the doctor, Dr. Pineapple Getsky, now DPG, as I like to call him for short. I apologize. So I just want to get that out of the way.
I don't apologize. Now I'm just going to call him Gleese on purpose.
What's up, Gleese? We're gonna do our pickups, bars, night of the movies. We're talking about the crazy weekend, which was Evo 2023. We're also going to be talking about plot twist in video games, MAGDX retrospective, which is basically we gave each other 2 games. We're going to talk about those, and then last week's corrections Getsky. I'm going to have a Getsky field day today, so let's do this. All right, we're going to go with pickups. We'll start with you first, sir, as usual.
Okay,
what did you get this week?
I don't have anything to actually show right now, but it's because I took it to work already. Okay. I got. Are you familiar with New Wave Toys?
Yes, the mini arcades and all that stuff.
Yeah, the mini arcades. It's 1/6 scale, and they're so MF and detailed. It's crazy. They also make stuff like change machines and little boom boxes and whatever. But last year, probably around this time, I think I've been waiting a year for these things to like ship and deliver. But this time, a couple days ago, I got in the mail a mini Coke machine.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a Coca-Cola machine, 1/6 scale, and it's actually a fridge, so it holds 1 or 2 sodas.
So does it have mini like tiny cans?
Yes. You actually load 6 cans into the thing, and then you can like put teeny tiny little quarters in the money slot, and you put 2 quarters in, and then you can push a button, and it vends a can.
That's awesome.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I wanted their change machine, like the arcade change machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had a really cool one of that.
One of those too, because it's a USB like charger too. It's a charging hub.
That's awesome.
So not only is it cool looking, it's actually like functional. But that's my major pickup for the week. That was really my only pickup.
Well, I got one surprise for you that I know you've been dying to see. So on my pickups, I'll start off first. Thanks, Getsky, for this one. Another correction for you. Getsky gave me this game. So Getsky, I appreciate it. Great game, Getsky.
Thank you, Dr. Gleese.
We went to this place called the Brass Armadillo. My wife loves it. We went on like a date night. We always go thrifting during the date nights. We're going to be doing it on Friday as well. We're going to go downtown Omaha and do it as well. I looked around, and I'm going to tell you what, man, the prices are insane now in these thrift stores, like insanity. Like I saw CDs going in there for like $30. It was nuts. But I did find one cheap game. I like this game a lot. I know they have it on the PS4 upgrade, but this is a Star Wars Bounty Hunter.
Yeah.
And for those collectors, by the way, this is exclusively on YouTube. It has everyone's favorite registration card. Registration card. Oh, very nice. I paid $20 for it. It retails around $35. I know there's like a limited one, but this one had a variant to it too. Variant collectors, whatever. It has a Jango Fett promo card for the trading card game that came with it.
Wow.
So not too shabby, and I like the game a lot. So I was happy to find it. There's a limited edition to that game too that goes for astronomical prices. This one was bought on the trade agreement, thanks to a bar over here. We have a MAGDX trade agreement, and I walked in and I got God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah.
This is. I haven't got to play it yet, but I basically was telling him he gave me a son that I can teach him how to button mash and kill people. So that's gonna be great. I now have a virtual son, so I have 3 boys and a virtual son now. So that's pretty awesome. I didn't get to show this last time, but I'm a big Dead Rising fan, so I bought the original Dead Rising on PS4. And this one is a day one exclusive. They have like this little shiny front to them. This might be a subset sometime down the road for Xbox, but I didn't have Dead Rising 3. I never played it before, and I'm hoping it's good. I like the
it is.
Frank Miller.
It's actually really good. It's really fun.
So I can't wait to try it out. I love Capcom. Capcom and me are like, nice warm bed.
Did you play Dead Rising 2?
Love it.
It's more of the same.
Also, Big Frank's package. Dead Rising 4.
I never played Big Frank's package, but
dude, so you get all these Street Fighter things, like you get Zangief and Mega Man and all these Capcom characters, and you can like use their weapons in the game. It's ridiculous. They have this crazy DLC for it. Also,
so he mentioned the MAGDX like trade agreement. It's actually called the SIFTA. We joke around at SIFTA. It's the Coffin Ibarra Free Trade Agreement.
Yep.
So we just pick up stuff for each other every once in a while or whatever. If he needs a game and I've got it in my collection and vice versa, then we just pass it along.
Correct. Also, like what happened was I bought him a Double Dragon Switch for the Switch, and then he snuck attacked me with the God of War. So hashtag glow whore, another hashtag I'm going to start presenting to everyone. Glow whore. I love glow in the dark stuff, and so this cool Predator. This is actually original from the 90s. This is from the Kenner line, and he's all decked out with his stuff. He has a cool mask in the front. I didn't realize this. He has an alien chest as his piece, which I thought was pretty cool. And you found this savvy guy, my glow in the dark Blanca. I never got the glow in the dark version for the IM 8-bit, but I do have the glow in the dark version of Blanca here. On my desk is like a glow in the dark shrine, so when I start off my desk, it all glows, which is hilarious. So
it's awesome.
Hashtag glow whore, love it. And then finally, you're gonna love this one. So all the way from Japan. This one is a Resident Evil one I've been looking for a long time, and this is Gun Survivor 2. Biohazard. Nice. This is Code Veronica, and what people don't realize about this was an arcade game in Japan, and what would happen is you do like Resident Evil, you go through room to room. It's in Code Veronica, of course, but if you don't if you don't get done by the timeline, Nemesis comes out and chases you.
Oh, wow.
So it's kind of a mix between 3 and 4. It is a terrible light gun game on the PS2, just to let you know. But what's cool about this GunCon 2 is black. And as you well know, we don't have those kind of guns here because they look realistic. I'm shocked they even got this through FedEx without getting in trouble.
Oh, I know it. Yeah, dude. Speaking of that, so you know that the Hori, Hori, that peripheral maker.
Yeah.
They made the light gun Beretta,
which I saw here. That thing is insane.
Yeah, which I've got in my collection. That thing is ridiculous. I mean, holy crap, is it real looking?
It looks scary real.
Yeah, and I bought a second one off eBay in the U.S. and it shipped through the mail, no problem. But just in case, I was like, hey, dude, could like I told the seller, can you just like put an orange tip on it, just like duct tape or something, just in case. Because I don't want anyone like confiscating that stuff.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Or you get the ATF call. Last but not least, I don't have it on me. I'm sorry, I put it in my PS5, but I finally bought SSD for my PS5. I got a 2 terabyte. It's called Nextdoor, and it's basically what was going to happen was this Japan company was going to be the official release for PS5. It has a heat sink on it and everything. It was currently on Amazon for $111. Right now, they also have a 4 for $238, I think it is. But let me just tell you a little funny story before we go down this rabbit hole. Let me just explain something to you. So this PS4 hard drive will work on your PS5. You can play games off this hard drive. This one right here is a PS5 one. You cannot play it off the actual hard drive.
That's stupid.
This is what also happens. You can only hook up one of these. Just one. You cannot hook up both of them. So if I have to download a PS5 game, I have to throw it on this and then bring back my PS4 one. And I have to shut down the PS5 to put this back on there. If I pull it, it basically corrupts these hard drives. And what I'm talking about, if you don't see it, it's basically an external hard drive. Internal SSD will let you download the games, right? But if you don't have room, you have to move it to this external drive. You don't get patches or updates. And then when you decide to push it back, you get patches and updates for them. That's the craziness of freaking PS5 storage.
That sounds really convenient.
Really stupid, by the way. And they just did a release of 8 terabytes, and I'm like, why wouldn't you put in there? Did you use storage? But all they're afraid of is someone's trying to hack it, and so they don't want to like release it. And Sony, you're the dumbest people with storage. You've done it terrible for years. The ones for the Vita and all stuff that you can only buy the Sony ones. You don't know what you're doing with storage. Leave it the F alone. It just drives me nuts that I've literally paid $400 basically a PS5 to make these things work, which is ridiculous.
So dumb.
And I downloaded PS4 games because I can play PS4 games on like Resident Evil 4. I play it on the hard drive because I can play it on the hard drive without killing my freaking storage. Sucks. That's my pickups. I'm sorry.
You would think they'd have it figured out. I mean, yeah, it's supposed to be like a top of the line piece of consumer tech, but that sounds cumbersome as shit.
When I bought the hard drive, the WD, I was like, okay, no more shit. I can just download to it. And then when I went home, I tried to put something on there, and it's like, nah, you can't use it that way. And I was like, what the hell? And I said, so I have to throw it in there as like kind of like it's kind of like, you know, you have an attic. You're like, okay, I'm gonna throw my game in the attic and I'll play it later. Okay, I want to play it now. Now I gotta pull it down from the attic. I gotta get all the strings out and all that type of stuff. That's what it does. It sucks. It totally sucks their storage thing.
Dude, I actually. So how much was the storage? Like how much are those things?
It was 2 terabytes for 111. It was that was on Amazon. I don't know if it was a limited time deal at the time.
So check this out. It would almost be better to buy another PlayStation 5. Almost.
Correct.
Yeah. And just have 2 PlayStation 5s. One with one set of games, one with another set of games. Because dang, that storage is expensive sometimes. I don't get like how, especially Xbox, like whenever they launched the Xbox Series X and had those external drives, like what was 1 terabyte, like almost over $200 or something.
They just fixed it. WD just got it, and now it's like $50.
Sure, yeah, but at launch though,
it
was like half the price of a console.
They're trying to do proprietary on it. That's why. So the same thing was going to happen with the PS5. With the one that I have, like when I opened the box, it had all PS5 logos. And when I did some research on the company, what happened was COVID hit, and PlayStation backed down the license. But PlayStation was like, "Hey, you can still use our pictures. You can still use all the stuff like that, and you can sell them on your own." And so that's what they did. They decided to sell them on their own, and they're not bad. They run as fast as the Barracudas. And I put Final Fantasy 15 in here. Or was it 16? Is it 16 now?
16, yeah. The one just,
yeah. So I put it in there, and it like boom, 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 and went super fast.
Wow.
But I've already filled up probably about 80% of it because I have a lot of PS5 games. I'm ashamed of myself. Fighting games like suck them up. Call of Duty sucks them up. It's just bad news. But those are my pickups. Next, we're going to go to our favorite classy week, and that is Ibarra's Night at the Movies. Last week he had Alien 3, and then he will give us a review. I'll talk a little bit about it, and then we will do his next week's homework.
You don't know how perfect your last the last part of the last segment was as far as a transition to this, because this is going to be the shortest Ibarra at the Movies that we've ever done. Guess what game? I mean, guess what movie? Guess what Blu-ray does not play on a PlayStation 5?
Really?
Yes. It will not
crazy.
Play.
Did you try downloading the PD Live driver?
What?
So there's a BD Live media that you can download, and it will basically read any like Blu-ray discs. Like same thing on the Xbox.
That's on the PlayStation 5?
I think so. Because mine all play on mine on there, but I mean, like,
okay, I'm gonna have to check that afterward. Because, dude, yesterday I usually watch the movies on a Monday so that they're fresh in my mind for Tuesday.
Yep.
Which is when we record. I didn't get to watch it yesterday, so first thing whenever I got home, I went downstairs. I was doing some like print shop work, but as it was printing, then I went over and I popped it in my PlayStation 5. It did some menu stuff. it even said something. Yeah, there actually was something about like it uses the latest Blu-ray technology, and if it doesn't work, then reference blah 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 or whatever. But yeah, it goes to nothing. It's just a blank screen.
Yeah, so you'll have to, like, when you go in the media side of it, you'll have to look it up, and then it's called, like, I think it's BD Live, because basically what happens is that these companies, what they did was they give you all these interactive things to it to make it feel
kind of like the
that,
new one or whatever.
Yeah, correct. So it's dumb, and what we can do is we can hold off next week's, and then we'll do that one.
Yeah, well, hey, I'll use this as an educational moment. He said that, you know, Blu-ray or BD Live is an interactive thing. Well, I mentioned the new one. So the new one was a pretty obscure console, and it had kind of a similar like technology to it. It was supposed to be like an interactive DVD technology that could like play games and stuff. There were actually a handful of movies that were Nuon compatible, like Nuon enhanced, quote unquote. Bedazzled was one of them. Buckaroo Banzai was one of them. Oh gosh, those are the only two that I can remember, but I think there were two more, and I want to say Crocodile Dundee was one of them too.
Great movie.
Yeah. So there were like 4 different DVDs that were Nuon compatible, but then the Nuon, the players themselves, Toshiba had one, but it was a Samsung technology. Samsung and Toshiba had these players that if they were Nuon compatible, you could actually buy Nuon video games in these gold DVD cases.
That's wild.
Yeah. So like they actually had some pretty recognizable exclusives, like Space Invaders XL. They had Tempest 2000. I think it's Tempest 2000. If it's not 2000, it's 3000. I think it's Tempest 3000 because I think 2000 was on the Jaguar. Anyway, yeah, so it's a really obscure console. And I actually mentioned Toshiba Tetris last week. It's a rare game, and I do mean rare because it was like supposed to be a pack-in title, but instead of packing it in the box, you actually had to mail away with a little slip and get the game through the mail. So
that's crazy. Yeah, it's weird because I remember when Universal started it, they would have like I remember I can't remember what the movie it was. It was when they did the re-release of Back to the Future, and I had a Blu-ray player and it wouldn't work.
That's so weird.
And so I had to use the PS3 to download the software to play it on there, which was
well, what surprises me, and I mean, we can go back to what we were saying about the PlayStation 5 supposedly being so user friendly. I would think that it would recognize that driver's not there and automatically download it. Why is that not the case?
Sony doesn't do anything with
That's
programming.
Idiotic.
It is. Well, I'll give you a little quick synopsis of the movie so people are aware of it. Basically, it was supposed to be the final nail in the coffin for the Alien series back in the 90s, and there's a lot of issues with the movie because they had directors that weren't getting to do their vision. Fox was always getting in the middle of it. They also, like, Sigourney Weaver was notoriously known for holding the people hostage for money, and so there was like a whole bunch of craziness. It had a really bad process through the whole thing, rewrites, all kinds of crazy stuff. Yeah. But I do like the ending of the movie. I do like some of the parts of the movie, which we'll talk about later. But we'll do that next week, and then I'll keep these selections here for next week.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna, right when we get done with this podcast, I'm gonna pop on that PS5 and see if I can get that BD Live crap downloaded. That is so bizarre, man. I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, if not, just let me know and I'll look it up too. Maybe it might not be that, but I know it's like some kind of programming on there that you will do.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. This is going to be a big deal. I'm going to have a lot to go over, so I apologize. For Evo 2023 was this weekend, which was so epic. So epic. There was a lot of good fights. I am a little pissed off about Killer Instinct being an exhibition and not a freaking Evo trophy. That kind of pissed me off, and no one's doing coverage of it. They just treat it like it's an exhibition. It had the best fighters on Killer Instinct ever.
Well, I think Max actually did do some coverage of it, but that's Max. I mean, that's his jam.
Well, he built it. He actually was part of that team that built it, so which is crazy. So the highlights of it, and I'm going to go over all the basically spoiler alert if you don't want them. I would just move along if you don't want to hear it.
The news is out there. I mean,
the news is definitely out there.
Yeah, the news is out there.
So MK1 Reptile got officially released.
Yeah.
Now imagine this: they went old school with him. They made him human, but he can transform into basically he looks like a giant alligator, and he
looks like Riptor.
Yeah, it's really cool. Well, they made him off the Mortal Kombat movie. Remember in the Mortal Kombat movie, he was that big lizard. They incorporated in there, which I like. I also like that they do half and halves with him when he's running through the screen and stuff like that. Really, really cool. One person I'm super excited for, all the PS2 love in the world for. It seems like this game's getting all kinds of PS2 love. Havoc is back. Havoc is insane. Havoc. He can rip his arms off. He can rip his body arms off. He can attack with.
He's like rotten or whatever. He's such a weird character.
And Azra is back, and she got a really, really cool upgrade. Like she's basically kind of like a demon, but they gave her kind of like angel wings and all kinds of cool stuff. Also a super B-list cameo fighter, which is Serena. You'll see her in the trailer. She looks like the devil. And so that was the big thing for Mortal Kombat 1. Street Fighter 6, there is a new character called I just call her AKI, Aki. You remember that creepy girl in Killer Instinct? Spooky character? Well, Street Fighter 6 is getting one of those characters, and she is scary as hell. They showed her a release, and she looks terrifying. Which I think
is her name like Misako or something like that in Killer Instinct?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you look her up, AKI or Aki, she's like crazy. Also, 2 announcements: Ed's going to return in the winter, and Akuma is pegged for spring 2024. So you'll be getting Akuma in 2024 spring. So probably about March timeframe when that's going to be coming out.
Yeah.
Also, which I thought was going to happen, Capcom is making the online fighting section. They're dropping TMNT themed gear for the game, so you can get the turtles on there. I'm hoping they'll bring a Shredder out because I would love to deck out my character in Shredder gear. That got released Tuesday, and also a new character that they already announced was released today. Tekken 8 blew my mind. Like the character Raven.
Who's that dude with the X in his face?
Which one?
On Tekken 8.
On X,
got like X scars or whatever. That's all I saw. That's all I remember. Anyway, go ahead.
Tekken 8, Raven looks amazing. They made him like your guy Doctor Strange, where he can jump through portals. He has like different portal versions of him that can fight in the thing. You'll have to check it out. But the craziest one was Asuna, Asucena. They call her the Coffee Girl. And imagine Eddie with Neo from the Matrix. She can dodge attacks. Like if someone punches, she could swoop around them and get behind them.
And that's crazy.
They were showing this crazy defense she was doing. It was nuts. I was like, dude, she's going to be the one that everyone's going to play because you won't be able to hit her. Like she's absolutely crazy on her movement. It's like Neo. It's like watching him doing bullet time, slow motion going around behind people. Dude, it was nuts. But they call her the Peruvian Coffee Queen. She drinks coffee and stuff like that. I think your wife would absolutely enjoy her with her little theme. Neo Geo Love for You.
Oh, yeah.
City of the Wolves is getting a reveal. It is off the Wolves series.
Yeah.
Looks
Fatal Fury,
awesome.
baby.
My other favorite game, Guilty Gear Strive, is getting Johnny, which I'm pretty excited about. He is definitely a sponge. He's going to be great. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl is still going. They're getting a robot Plankton.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Killer Instinct is going to get a 10-year patch, and it's going to include a balance update, improved matchmaking, and 4K support for Series X and S. And that's coming out probably at the end of the year. That's what they were saying. Big winners for Street Fighter 6, Angry Bird from Jordan UAE won. Tekken 8, Ashlyn Ash from Pakistan, he won. Mortal Kombat 11, which was the craziest fight I've ever seen in my life.
I'm gonna have to watch Fujins.
That. Ninja Killer 212 finally got over the hump, and he won the MK11 tournament. And he's been trying to do it for years. You had Sonic Fox and all them in there. They had really big competitors. This was the last time he could actually win it. And he won by like this much. That finals was nuts. And then Nikki from USA won the Killer Instinct exhibition. Nikki was also the best player in Killer Instinct even before that. So that's basically all the crazy announcements that happened at EVO for sure.
So I do have 3 things real quick. I was close on her name. It's not Misako, it's Hisako with an H.
Okay.
So I was close.
Yes.
Yeah. And then second thing, I just realized, so this is episode 8, the Ocho.
The Ocho.
It's the 8th month today and the 8th day, and we're doing the 8th episode. 888. Anyway, you might have muted yourself, by the way.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can.
Okay. Sorry.
Third thing, do me a favor. Go to Wikipedia. We'll do this live here. Go to Wikipedia and look up EVO 2016 and click on it and scroll down. You'll know it when you see it.
Justin Wong. Participants. So which one am I supposed to be looking under?
Yeah, you just scroll down and it's pictures. It's a picture that you'd see.
Okay. Oh, it is you. I scroll right past it. Holy shit.
Yep.
Like, hello,
so
sir.
If you look up EVO 2016 and you scroll down to the picture of what is that? Knuckle-Doo?
Knuckle-Doo. Yep.
Knuckle-Doo. Yeah, there's some chump getting his autograph.
That was the year you got me that was that the year that you got that freaking Samurai Showdown?
It was. That was it. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep.
I want to go to it so bad.
It was also so much fun, man.
Our boy Claire was there too. He was showing pictures of him being there, and in our little group, he was there for sure. I don't know if he was
Robin. Awesome.
Yeah, he was there. I do want to go to it for real. Like I want to do like a weekend there. I would just love to just smoosh.
Yeah, we need to plan on going for sure, man.
It'd be fun. Plus Melissa's never been to Vegas, so I think she would love to go to Vegas.
Yeah, it's same with Natalie. She's never been to Vegas either. She's been wanting to go.
So we'll have to figure it out. We'll have to definitely figure something, because I know they don't want to go watch.
We'll just like surprise them. We'll be like, hey, we're going this particular weekend, and we won't tell them about
Evo's here. What are you talking about? How did that happen? Oh my god.
Weird.
That'd be so odd. All right, next one we're going to talk about is plot twists in video games, and what we mean is something that like completely surprised us, and we didn't, there's some games just like, holy crap, did that just happen? Like, which is just wild. I have a couple. I'll let you go first, sir. What plot twist? What are your favorite plot twists in video games?
Well, I'm going to start with, I think the first plot twist I ever experienced in a video game. And instead of like doing a whole bunch of, because I actually picked 5 games. We can trade back and forth. So, number 1, Super Mario Brothers. Your princess is in another castle. It happens over and over again. You get to, what you think is Bowser. And then all of a sudden, like you either beat him by fireballs or make him fall into the pit of lava. No, it was actually one of his Koopalings turned into Bowser lookalike and a mushroom retainer named Toad, or maybe it's one of his brothers or cousins or something like that, because there can't be 7 Toads. Yeah, they say that the princess is in another castle. So
also, by the way, I always laugh at this. I don't know if you ever noticed it. Like, doesn't he look like he's wearing a diaper? Like
it does. It totally does.
Like every time I see him as a kid, I'm like, is he wearing a diaper?
Oh, 100%. What you got?
So I'll say my first one, which was a crazy plot twist for Resident Evil 7 and Resident Evil Village. And spoiler alert, I'm sorry like this. But Ethan Winters in the game, and when Resident Evil 7, he actually was killed. So, like, they do all this crazy stuff in the game where his arm gets chopped off and, like, all this weird stuff. He, like, dumps some medication on him and stuff. And they never explain it. Like, you know, did he get superpowers? You know, did Mia... Like, there was always theories, like, Mia gave him, like, these, you know, the same kind of virus that she was stuck with.
Yeah.
In the game, they call it the mold. And what happened was the crazy dad in the 7, Baker, he killed him. He killed him right after there's a scene where he's like, welcome to the family. He punches him. He actually killed him. And then he replaced him with the mold. And then they go into Village and they explain it. And the person that's the main villain in the game, she actually controls the mold. So if she dies, they all die. And so they show like how, you know, why he's had all this ridiculous stuff happen to him and why he can't get hurt. It's because he was actually infected with the same stuff that they were dealing with in the game, which I thought was a crazy little plot twist. I was like, wow, it's pretty. That was pretty interesting how Capcom pulled that off.
I'm gonna be a jerk right now.
Oh, here we go.
So, it's not the greatest game in the world, but it's got a plot twist. You save this thing at the very beginning of the game, and you don't know that it's going to save you later. Well, in Super Metroid, Mother Brain's about to kill Samus, and this Metroid that you saved at the very beginning of the game comes and saves you, and sacrifices itself. Maybe I'm getting that wrong a little bit.
So Metroid 2, Samus saved the baby.
Oh, okay. Metroid 2. Yeah, sorry.
And it thinks it's her mom.
Yeah. So this Metroid that you save in Metroid 2 comes and saves you from imminent death. And then sacrifices itself. And that was, you're just like, holy crap! Are you kidding me? That just happened. And it gives you, like, superpowers and stuff.
Super Saiyan mode. The Hyper Laser. Another one that, and it's going to be your game, that pissed me off. And I went 6 years not knowing this. So I played Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Yeah.
There is So I thought it was one castle, and I beat it 100%, and beat the game. Thought I beat it, and then I was talking to one of my friends like 5 years later, and he's like, the Upside Down Castle, and I was like, what? We need an Upside Down Castle.
What now?
Like, there's a whole nother part of the game, and I was like, what the hell are you talking about? So I went on the internet and looked up like how. By the way, you have to have like certain glasses and shit, like to like all this like weird shit you have to do Pacifics, and then it goes to Upside Down Castle, and I was like, mother effer, I did not beat this game, and I literally went 5 years thinking like I totally conquered that game because I'm obsessed with Metroidvanias and I don't like not missing something on the map.
Yeah.
And then Upside Down makes it a completely insane. Like, you know, it's a cool idea, but like I was like, how the hell did they develop that? Like, and it inverted the entire game. It's nuts.
Well, by that time you have so many like power ups to like traverse the huge gaps that you wouldn't otherwise be able to like fly through and whatever.
Like, what if you didn't have the bat? Like, okay, say for example, like you didn't have the bat power, you'd be screwed. You'd be absolutely screwed. It's wild. Yeah, that one sucked as well.
Yeah. All right, I got 2 left, and then a third if we have time, just real quick. But anyway, this other one, and I already mentioned one of the games in the series, Mario 2. You play through the entire game. Oh, guess what, guys? It was all a dream. You were dreaming.
Yeah, too much pizza, man. He had a bad nightmare.
Too much Italian pasta.
That's right. Another one that blew my mind as a kid was Reptile. Reptile was probably the first one that where I was like, oh, is that? Is that actually like a real thing? Do you actually fight them and stuff? But I'll tell you this crazy thing that happened to me, and no one ever talks about it, and it's wild. So you know how you find Reptile? You basically don't get hit, you can't block, and you got to do a fatality.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of the times when I was playing I think it was the Super Nintendo or Sega version of the game, I did it in an endurance round one time. I did an endurance round, and what happened was when I beat Reptile, a green Sonya came out, and I was like, "What?" And then basically like I had to fight her. So I did this in the endurance round. This only happened once in my life. I've never been able to attempt this again. But I beat him, and then he jumped out like the game, and then a green Sonya showed up, and I was like, "Uh-oh, this ain't good."
That's weird.
And it looked like she was like a glitch. Like it looked like a glitch.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
And I've never been able to pull it off again. I've tried it so many times because I'm like, did I make this up in my head? Like, is this something like I made up?
So weird.
And I was like, maybe it's just the coding in the game. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause it's considered an endurance round. But I did it. I was literally just being fucking cheap with Sub-Zero, and then did the fatality. And then sure enough, we went down there and fought him. But what was crazy was a lot of people don't realize, at the arcades, you had to set him up on the PCB, like to be on. And there's also things like he would come out and say like random stuff that didn't make any sense. And there was like, you had to look at the moon, and it had Santa Claus had to fly over it, and all kinds of stuff. And like, there's so many weird things in the arcade. But then it spawned like Ermac. Like if Scorpion and Sub-Zero run into each other, it says macro. And people thought it was like a secret hidden character and stuff. There's a lot of weird stuff, but
well, I remember Ermac actually, like I think the rumor started in Game Pro. It was in a video game magazine. Someone supposedly like snapped a Polaroid of running into Ermac. And I think that's where the whole story came from. But I mean, like, I think it was just faked. But then,
no, it's real. So what happens is if you put the two ninjas too close together, it'll turn red, and then it's an error macro. That was what they saw. They thought it was, and so the people thought it was an Ermac, and so then they're like, "Oh, we found this new character." So also the funny thing is that the character in Mortal Kombat 2 in the background where he's on fire.
Yeah.
People called him Blaze, and then basically he became a character in the Armageddon game as the big villain at the end, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, that was really funny.
Next one
is and the plot twist wasn't at the end of the game, like, you know, traditionally like blow your mind. It blows your mind like almost immediately. Super Mario RPG.
Yes.
Where, you know, you start this adventure, and mind you, like, you know, this was before the internet was a prolific thing. No one had cell phones. You'd look up like what's going to happen, and you could more or less avoid spoilers back in those days, because this is what came out in 96. That was right. So, you know, you start out and you think that you're going to rescue the princess, and then all of a sudden, bam, like the Bowser's not the enemy.
Yeah,
like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, just all this sword crashes through the castle, and you have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, when I first saw it, I was like, what an interesting way of flipping it, and then also becoming a buddy with you, and like it's hilarious.
It was the first time Bowser was a likable character, you know, like with personality.
Yeah, and also I loved him in the other series of that too, because like even with the Paper Mario ones and things like that, like he's hilarious in that one too. They did such amazing scripts for those games.
They really do.
Which is awesome.
I'm a huge fan of those.
I'm trying to. The big one for me also is what was crazy was like, who was this Proto Man that kept showing up in Mega Man? Like, it just like what and also what was crazy about it too was it's the first game when you did Mega Man 3 where you actually did the characters from 2 again. So they had different levels. And they were like these giant robots with the memory of those robots, like Airman and, you know, Metal Man, all stuff like that. And I just thought it was interesting that like they flipped it, because usually your mindset is, oh, we beat all the robots, and then we go to Wily's tower, and then we beat it, and then they're like, nah, we're gonna throw a little snowball in there, and they did like kind of like a remix of all the levels, where you had to verse 2 robots in that level, which was pretty nuts. And then you find out that Proto Man was actually made before Mega Man, which was crazy, and he's Wily's creation.
He's prototype.
Yeah. Which I thought was crazy, in the game. That was a crazy like plot twist with it. Like, oh, he's Mega Man's brother. That's wild. That's crazy they did that.
I got a random question for you.
Okay.
Mega Man fan.
Mm-hmm.
We're both Mega Man fans.
Yep.
What's your favorite Mega Man?
Oh, that's tough. Through the whole series, you mean like X and all those, like Zero and all those, or simply NES?
Main series.
Main series. Oh man. I know 2 is like everyone's holy grail. Yeah. But I love 3. 3 is like 3 to me. I think it's weird. I've seen a lot of people now like starting to turn towards 3 as being better. I just think it gave more insight to Mega Man's character. It gave more insight to the series. Like, oh, let's add 2 stuff into the game, which was pretty cool. And the Wily Tower is probably one of the best ones they made. I hate, but Mega Man 2 has that glitch. Like, you can go to Wily's Tower and you screw up your thing, and you can soft lock the game.
Oh yeah.
And so that, and then plus Rush, you had like the sub, you had the freaking the jump thing. So it gave you all these new abilities. So I like 3 a lot.
One more question: what's the best Mega Man sub weapon throughout the entire series?
Metal Man. I love Metal Man.
Yes, Metal Man.
Metal Man's the best.
The blade.
It's so best. OP. It's so OP and so broken.
I love that thing.
But I wish, and what was maybe, I wish Flashman's would last longer. Like, I also like his because it's so random that you can like freeze the entire level, which I thought was very interesting.
One note about Flashman, and this goes back to 80s and 90s pop culture too. There's like a part of the music in that level that always reminded me of the theme song of Wild and Crazy Kids on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
Yep.
What is your favorite in Mega Man series?
Just the series itself. It's 2. But, I mean, 3 is actually a close second because I used to rent that one all the time. But 2, I played a ton. And, I always... the order was Metal Man, Bubble Man, Fireman, or, whatever.
Yep. I think I love 3 a lot too because I had the Play Choice 10. It's on the Play Choice 10. I played that a lot on the Play Choice 10. I tried to do runs on that.
I said Fireman. I meant Heat Man. I knew that wasn't right. I knew it was Heat Man.
That's Zippo Man.
Don't flame me.
Let me tell you something. Capcom, it should have been Zippo Man. I don't care.
Yeah, it was Zippo Man.
What you think? It was Zippo Man. I used to laugh at that. I was like, he's literally a Zippo. Because I had a cousin that used to always flip his all the time. Like that little kink.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, it looks just like a Zippo. I don't know why they call him He-Man. I hate his level though. His level, the squares of doom, as I call them.
Oh yeah, those are terrible. I think someone should take like the old Mega Man 2 designs and like make them modern. So take like Airman and make him into a like bladeless Dyson.
Well, they have online. They have a Mega Man Maker, and people make levels that you can download on the PC. It's crazy. If you go on GameStop quick and you look it up, you can see all the. Someone made like Mario levels and Metroid levels, all kinds of stuff. Like you fight Mother Brain and stuff. It's pretty crazy what they can do with that game now.
Ridiculous.
And they make some pretty cool little updates.
Yeah.
So we had homework this week. I had the Binding of Isaac Repentance. And you had the greatest Castlevania game ever made, Lords of Shadow, which is God of Castlevania, as I like to call it.
By my silence, you can tell how much I love the game.
Let's
have 10 seconds of. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
He loves McDoubles. He loves San Francisco, Nos, and Castlevania: Lords of Shadow. That's his loves.
That's me.
If he had a dating site, that's what would be on there. He'd be like, I like long walks on the beach, Castlevania Lords of Shadow, and McDoubles.
Yeah. McDoubles are so good.
So good. I would not complain on those. I almost went to today and got one, but I got that old Casey's Pizza. People don't know about Omaha. There's this pizza that tastes like the lunch school.
Good, it's so good.
So good.
Yeah, it's school lunch, like straight up.
And it's greasy and shitty, and damn it, I love it. I love shitty gas station food. I have to say this. I love shitty gas station food. Shitty hot dogs, shitty whatever. Not the sushi. I won't touch the sushi or the egg salad sandwiches, which I don't know.
Yeah.
That's extreme. But
no, yeah, that's playing fire right there.
I saw a friend go in there and he did that. And I was like, are you serious? Are you really going to do that? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, you better hope you have a toilet next to you in the next hour or two.
You know what? After we picked the games for the retrospective, I realized that you didn't do something, and it worked to my advantage. Ooh. You didn't tell me what I had to do in the game. You just said that I had to play it.
You had to enjoy it. That's the.
I had to enjoy it.
You had to enjoy it.
That's impossible.
That is what I wanted.
Impossible.
I just wanted you to go like, damn. You know what? This is actually not a bad game. Holy shit.
No. What happened? You're right.
Is I'm going to play this tomorrow.
What happened is I popped it in my Xbox 360, which I had to dust off, by the way.
Yes.
I can't even believe that thing powered on and didn't red ring. But anyway, that's beside the point.
I had a backup for PS3 for you.
What's that?
I said I had a backup for PS3 for you.
Oh, backup
just
PS3.
in case.
Oh, you're so kind. Thank you.
Just in case.
You're such a nice guy.
I try. I try to be the best person in the world. I do.
So I pop in this game. Oh yeah, and I also had to find a working Xbox 360 controller, which was dusty, and I can't. Man, those things were so small. Yeah, I didn't remember it being that small in my hands, like that 360 controller. Anyway, so I finally get everything hooked up, and I pop in the game, and it's just as blurry and it has motion blur. That game has so much motion blur. It's crazy. Have you ever seen the original Transformers movie?
Yep.
How during the fight scenes everything's just all blurry and you can't tell what's going on because
I think it's from the era though. I think it's from that era.
Exactly, it is from that era because the CG is so shitty that they don't want you to tell.
Well, say for example, the PS3 had that issue too. I remember playing Heavenly Sword and fucking having that problem.
Yeah.
I just think it's from that era. I think it's I feel like we went into fog mode. PS2 was a little bit of fog, but then we got to 3 and Xbox.
Dude. Oh. 64 started the fog.
Yeah, the fog. I don't understand where it came from, but it was I remember playing GTA Vice City, and it'd be foggy when you drive, and then stuff would just randomly just show up and stuff. Yeah. I still see it on my PS5. It's horrible.
Yeah. Well, there's a series built around the fog in Silent Hill.
Well, yeah, that's great because I've at least worked with it. Let's just make this a scary game.
Yeah. Oh, hey, look, it's foggy, guys.
Hey, I'm not doing my pachinko
Don't worry
machines.
about the fact that we put it in there because of the technical limitations of the console.
Hey, you done making your pachinko machine? I got a little project for you to do. Oh, we have this problem with all this fog. Why don't we make it a scary game? Oh, that's a great idea. Come on over here after you get done with that pinko machine and make this the scary, spooky game.
Uh-huh. And what's funny...
No.
What's funny is they're yeah, foggy game, let's make it. And then the most technically advanced, amazing looking Silent Hill game got canceled. Well, incredible.
Well, Kojima kind of walked in the office and was like, "Listen, guys, if you don't like me, you can kick rocks." He didn't say it like that. I bet he had a few little F words.
If it were an American company, I mean, this is a whole nother topic. Japanese company, the family-run companies, as opposed to a U.S. company. A U.S. company all day long would have submitted to his demands and given him the money that he wants because profits, right? Yep. Japanese family-run business like Konami, oh hell no.
They're like Mr. Krabs. I like money. Cell phone games or Metal Gear?
Well, no, they like money, but they also, I mean, they're traditional in that they don't take disrespect from people. So, Kojima knows how much he's worth, but that still doesn't mean that he's part of the family.
You can't. This is the problem I have. All right, you can't go here you go. Here's all your toys. Go out and have fun, and then come back and be like, give me those toys back. You can't have fun. That's not allowed.
Yeah.
And
Metal Gear Solid 5.
They and your boy is, speaking of which, Lords of Shadow, his team was working on this game.
Yeah, his team was working on it, but okay. So this is all right. I don't think I've ever said this publicly, why I hate this fucking game so much.
Hurts my soul.
Gotta calm down. My blood pressure. Anyway,
so bad.
So when they announced Lords of Shadow, I was all in. Patrick Stewart's doing the voiceover. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. It's a new Castlevania game. Oh my gosh, Kojima's team is involved. Holy shit, this is going to be the best Castlevania game ever. No, it's not. So they took me from on a scale of 1 to 10, they took me from a 15,000 to a 1. You know, like my expectations were just off the charts, and they put out a turd. My favorite franchise.
It's a God of War game. I mean, like, it's God of War Junior.
It's got merit. Yes, okay, fine. It's got merit. It's a playable game. It's not terrible. It's not Castlevania 64. I'll give you that.
It's like Critters 3. You know, it's not as good as the first two. It's always it's like the third one in the movie where it's like, I'll watch it.
It just makes me angry because it was the biggest bait and switch. And it was a bait and switch from my favorite franchise.
Hey,
I got burned, man, and they haven't made it up to me yet, Konami.
Yeah, but this is what I'm trying to tell you: don't chase waterfalls. You just gotta creep. You can't have scrubs like Konami messing up your stuff.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's coming back. I'm telling you, Konami would not be dropping all these games on limited run games. By the way, like you want to buy everything for them, it's going to cost you $10,000. But that's another topic for another day. But like I feel like they're putting their feet back in the water. Like, oh, maybe consoles are coming back. You know, and dude, do you really hear a lot of people playing mobile games? I don't really. I literally can't do them. I really can't.
Yeah, that's a good topic. Are mobile games video games?
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna roast some people. I'm gonna call out some people.
Vampire Survivor.
Huh?
Vampire Survivor.
Well, that's technically gonna be on Nintendo Switch now. Yes.
So I'll go first since we had to cool your jets real quick on this thing. So this troll over here thinks he's slick. I played the grittier edition of this game, and let me tell you what, that freaking liar thing with me yelling, "Oh come on," with like spitting water out. That's basically my entire weekend of playing this. I didn't get past the 3rd level on that game, and let me tell you, I don't like this is 2 things I don't like about it. Okay, you can't stab me to hit the button for me to play. I don't understand that. That makes no goddamn sense. I mean, I should be able to just push a button and play, but you just make it worse. It's like walking through those spike doors. You're just knocking energy off me for no apparent reason. And then, basically, the only thing I'm buying for myself is hearts. That's all I'm buying for myself is hearts. And it's like the lotto. Okay, people don't realize this. You have to get lucky to get something to move forward.
Yeah. Well,
Power-ups are like in between, because I don't know the power-ups like you do.
Exactly.
So it's like, I'm just touching them. Let's see what
happens.
Exactly.
There are hundreds of items, and each of them have synergies with each other. So you have to be intimately familiar with that game to be able to maximize what is given to you on any given greed or greedier run.
So what it is,
if you don't know what you're doing, then you're not going to beat it.
So it's like basically like I'm on a first date and a bar over here has been married for 30 years with this game. So like I don't know any concept of like what's going on with this. And like I'm just going on this date and I'm just going around. Why is this going bad? Why is this going bad? What's going on? Does she like me? Does she not like me? What's going on here? And just complete confusion the entire time when I'm playing it, because I'm like, I don't know what's good, what's not good. And then like the power-ups were like 15 coins. I could barely get 4. Because I have to stop that thing because there's too many fucking uber fucking enemies that fucking destroy me.
Yeah,
And I'm
so
like,
the enemies are basically twice as hard in greedier mode, and you get half as much money.
yeah, and it sucks. And they can have a countdown, so you have like a 10-second clock,
Yeah,
and it goes, and then like another set of. See, I didn't know that at first. I was just like,
more
oh,
waves of enemies come.
I didn't know you had to stop the button. The first time I did it, I had literally like the entire screen covered in freaking enemies. I'm just running around screaming. But I like the game. I like the concept of the game. I like that it's kind of like got a Zelda dungeon feel to it. I like the roguelite stuff to it. I like the randomness of it. But the problem is that if I don't know what I'm getting, I don't know how to go forward in the game.
And that is the beauty of that game, because if you take to it, the more you invest time into it, the better you get and the more fun it is. But if you pick it up, and don't take to it, it's intimidating and hard to a fault.
So I feel like when I was over your house and watching you play, I feel like I was sitting there with a college professor, like just listening to this. Like, oh, this is what this does. This is what this.
Oh, I know about hidden
walls.
Man.
I didn't know about hidden walls until you told me about hidden walls. I was like, I didn't even know that existed. It's a really, really great game. I'm not hating on it or anything like that. If you like really, really hard games, and also you're into Zelda dungeon crawlers and roguelike games, this is definitely up your alley. Yeah. I still say this is a 10 out of 10 game. All the updates are needed to it. It's super fun.
It's insane.
But you might want to do some research before you play. That's all I say.
For sure.
Now the main event. We are here to hear this beautiful man over here talk about the best Castlevania game made in the last century, Lords of Shadow. If you don't know nothing about it, it's like you took God of War, Devil May Cry, and Castlevania, and you made a baby on it. So, please give me your amazing review on this game.
So since I was forced to play it, I look at that game. What's the opposite of rose-colored glasses? Because rose-colored glasses. If you look at something with rose-colored glasses, then everything's rosy and everything's amazing, and that's usually what happens whenever nostalgia happens. Like if something's nostalgic to you, you look at it with rose-colored glasses.
Thorns in your eyes, baby.
So exactly. I think I played this game with forks in my eyes. And it was like I think I actually had a visceral reaction to playing the game. Like my eyes. So every once in a while I'll play video games, or like I'll be doing something like video editing or whatever, and my eyes will be really bad because of my allergies, and I can't even like open my eyes. That actually happened while I was playing this game, which was really funny to me.
So you're saying that Castlevania gave you allergies?
Yeah, I'm allergic to it. I'm allergic to crappy Castlevania games.
Doctor, do you have a prescription for this? Just holding up a Lords of Shadow game?
Yeah.
It's giving me hives.
So, I mean, the gameplay is very much like a God of War game. The combat is pretty good. The platforming is where I really take issue with it, and that's where all that like motion blur comes in. It's not pretty. It's not a pretty game. It's really distracting. I can't look past that motion blur. It's so bad, man. But they have like a power-up system where like you can get new abilities and make yourself stronger and whatever. I played this game back when it first came out. I don't even know what year it came out, but I played it when it first came out. I actually pre-ordered the game. That's how much I wanted to play it. So this is my first time playing it since then, and like putting it down and being disgusted with it.
I could just imagine you the night before it came out. You're like, I'm going to get some rest tonight. Castlevania, I'm going to go pre-order and pick it up tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's going to be an exciting day.
Yeah. The one thing I will praise it on are the boss fights. It's really fun. The boss fights are fun.
Well, they do like Shadow of the Colossus, which is basically, everyone stole from Shadow of the Colossus. I don't know what the deal was back then.
Yeah, and in the era where Lords of Shadow came out, everyone was stealing from God of War. What was the one with you play as like one of the Four Horsemen War. What's that series?
What the? Damn it! I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Darksiders.
Yeah, Darksiders or something like that. Something Siders. Yeah. But anyway, they stole from God of War as well. Everyone was stealing from God of War because God of War was such a successful formula.
I think this is my theory on this too. I think Devil May Cry did it first. Devil May Cry did it first, and God of War perfected it. That's why I think they took the foundation of Devil May Cry, and then they basically upped it a notch with Santa Monica Studios.
I don't disagree with that at all. I don't disagree with that at all. Yeah, you're right. Devil May Cry needs to get the credit there because they were kind of the first over the top, crazy shooting and slashing
in the air and slashing.
Yeah, just so much agility. It's an agility fighting game, adventure or whatever. But my opinion of the game doesn't change, just because it was supposed to be something so much better to me, and it ended up being disappointing. And they haven't come out with anything since. So now it's just I view it as the end of the road for Castlevania until they make something new. So it just makes me sad.
I think if they got Inti Creates, they get .emu.
They need a good.
They get
team.
one of those. If they get a good team behind it, the same thing with Ninja Turtles when Nickelodeon was we're gonna get these retro guys, and they made that Amazing Shredder's Revenge. I mean, there is an option like that, but I think your boy that did the Curse of the Moon, he's I'm doing it. If you don't want to do it, then I'm gonna do it, and I think he killed it. I mean, that game is awesome, and it seems such a better it's a better version of Castlevania 3 to me. The Curse of the Moon. It's really, really amazing gameplay. And it just sucks
talking about Koji Igarashi and his team.
I just think Konami just lost all their talent. They, instead of supporting their talent, they turn around and destroy their talent. And I think with the common issue with video game companies, it's I want it now. I need to get the money now. But they give time, say for example, your Tears of the Kingdom, they give them a long dev time. Yeah. They can make their creations and make them amazing. They just don't want to wait that long. And I think that's the same thing Konami's doing.
Yeah, and where I think Kojima went wrong, and maybe Igarashi, who knows? There's just no telling really. I'd love to be a fly on the wall and be able to speak Japanese too. So a Japanese fly, I'd love to be it. But Kojima, kind of hemorrhaged money. He had a bloated budget, and Konami basically, just cut him off instead of letting him finish that game in Metal Gear Solid 5. They cut him off and they didn't let him finish it. And they're like, okay, that's it. And you're done. And let's just put it out. And it sucks because it's an incomplete game now. And everyone knows that. What could have been. And the same thing goes for Igarashi. He became more famous than Konami, and that family who owns Konami didn't really like that. So
you can't hate though on talent. You can't be that'd be like me, for example, hating on Aaron Rodgers. Oh yeah, he's a terrible quarterback because he's not doing what I want to do. Say for example, Aaron Rodgers was working with Green Bay, and Green Bay didn't want to support him, right? Yeah. Did not want to help him. They used him in the news saying that he's a terrible freaking teammate and stuff. He goes to the Jets now, and he's helping the quarterbacks. He's helping the franchise. He's taking care of them, and they're letting him be who he wants to be. And that's what I think happens with them is that they do have some loyalty to that company, but the problem is that because they got the licensing all those great games, and now they don't have it. And same thing with Death Stranding. No offense to Death Stranding, I didn't like it. I really did not like Death Stranding.
As the core gameplay, I totally agree with you. It was pretty boring and repetitive. But I enjoyed it because it was just a mindfuck.
Yeah. And your guy, for Castlevania, he did. You had Afune, and he shit the bed. Kojima shit the bed on this one, but he was the only one that even when he saw the feedback, even he saw the feedback, this is terrible. He's like, you know what? We'll just start over and we'll do it again. And he made this amazing series. Now he's got Curse of the Moon, and he's got a new Symphony of the Night with that. So it's just pretty interesting to me that like the way like that, like this is why I get mad at companies, like not even just in our realm, but also in the world. You treat your talent like crap, they're gonna go somewhere else.
Exactly. You got to take care of your people.
Take care of your people.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, like you've got a good brand. Yeah, you own that brand, but your brand is good because of the people behind it, not because of the brand itself. Fuck you, Konami. I mean, seriously.
And I'm hoping that they I mean, like, I don't know why they're doing the remake, and I'm wondering who's doing the remake for Metal Gear Solid 3 and like all these things, but they are basically making all that money off them with all these like collections and stuff now. So I don't know. Hopefully they'll change their ways and like that. And my choice for this week for you, I know that you're in love with Metroidvanias, but I thought I would give you a different one to try. This is called The Mummy Remastered.
Hey, cool.
And this
I've been wanting to try that one.
So this is really crazy about this game. So this was made on The Mummy for Tom Cruise, and the game is better than the movie. Russell Crowe's in this movie, and the main developer of this game looks just like him.
Okay.
And so they wanted to save money, and they just basically put him in the game as Russell Crowe, which is hilarious. You'll see that.
That's funny.
But the cool thing about this game, it's extremely hard. I'm just gonna let you know that if you die, your body turns into a zombie, you lose all your stuff, and you have to go back to get your stuff. And if you die again, you don't get that stuff back.
Yeah.
So you'll love
Shovel
the soundtrack.
Knight.
The soundtrack is a banger. But it's a really good Metroidvania that does not get enough love and respect. And I feel like as a person that played a lot of Metroidvanias, you're used to them, I thought I would throw you outside the box and let you try something completely different.
Yeah, cool. I totally forgot about that one.
So Mummy Demastered for the Switch.
All right. So to trade you for the Lords of Shadow.
I'm scared.
I'm going with a shmup.
Ugh.
But I'm not going with any shmup.
Ugh.
Which, for those of you, it's SHMUP, shoot 'em up.
Our shooters, if you're from the 80s and 90s.
I'm not even going with a shoot 'em up. I'm going with a cute 'em up.
Oh, I have that game.
Oda Media's excellent.
I have that game. Yes, I do. I got to pull out.
So you have to play an anime booby, cute 'em up.
Oh,
which is a fun game. I took it easy on you. It's not a bullet hell shooter.
Oh my god. By the way, people that don't realize this, I suck at them. It's to the point where Barra saw me playing and laughed at me on how terrible I am. I can't do it. There's too much stuff on the screen. It makes me panic.
Well, so there's a special caveat to this one. If you notice, I've got the special edition of this. It's all shiny boxed. Guess what comes in the special edition? An anime body pillow. You have to sleep on the anime body pillow also.
My wife will be pissed.
And you can't tell Melissa why you're doing it.
She's gonna know something's up. I just can't. The only thing I'm scared of is leaving it around my kids, because then they'll just think it's the funnest thing ever. And I don't have to explain to mom why I have it. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I can accept that rules.
All right. Yeah, I can't wait to hear how this goes.
I'm gonna give her a name though. I'm just gonna let you know. I'm gonna pick a random name and like, don't you touch my Sheila. Don't you touch her. Only I touch her.
Oh my gosh, so funny.
I will put it on GI Gamer, me playing games with it too.
Yeah.
Put my head.
At least, at the very least, and actually, no, there's actually boobs on the pillow. So, well,
yes.
Sorry.
Titties.
Anime boobies.
That's right. I will accept that. All right, last week's corrections. You know where mine's coming to, because I'm going to do it again for the 100th time. Yep. But do you have any last week corrections before we go?
You know, I really need to start writing them down this time. I usually remember. I know I had a couple corrections, and I just don't remember what they were off the top of my head. So I know that I made a couple mistakes, and sorry about that. So that's it. All right, go ahead.
So in honor of Jeff Getsky, if you don't know who this guy is, he's my arch nemesis. He likes plastic. He likes making these schematics of cables to make sure he has the best picture and sound in his thing. He has an arcade where he lays sideways on his pool table and shows off. I will provide a picture for it in GI Gamer 1981 of his sexy calendar routine. But also, he's the sweetest guy in the world. He always looks out for us. He is he's a hustler. I'll tell you what, that guy.
Oh, he's a good dude, man. Holy crap!
He takes care of everybody in our little group of people.
Yeah.
We keep the mysterious group quiet. This is our thing. But Getsky, I appreciate it. He's always been sweet to me. He's always taken care of me. Even when my dog passed away, he got everyone together to give me Mega Man X4 on the Saturn, which was like the craziest thing because it was super expensive at the time. He's always watching out for us. So sorry, Getsky, that I called you Gleese. I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't have your name out there. Also, he's a doctor. He works in the Mayo Clinic. He's an amazing person. Always thinking about other people than himself. But I am jealous of his arcade, and I will probably steal his arcade one time.
I have one gripe with Getsky.
Uh-oh.
The few the few conventions, video game conventions that I've been to, whenever he was there, he drags around this bag of trades. Dude, get something with wheels, will ya? Come on. You can afford wheels.
Dude, he's like I watched him at MGC. He's like a ninja. Like, he disappeared in the crowd. Like, one of the times I saw him, like, sitting next to me, and he was gone. And then I saw him, like, doing the drug deal with the bag. Like, he was holding the bag out. And Courtney was there trying to get his, trying to negotiate his stuff. So it was like, Mr. Rightway was in his bag. Courtney was sitting there negotiating with the guy. Jeff's negotiating with him for something else. It was like this crazy, like, ridiculous dance that was going around. And I was like, what is going on here? This is intense.
Hashtag Getsky's Game Sack.
Yeah, big old Game Sack. He has, like, probably the most insane collection I've ever seen.
Oh, dude. His Neo Geo stuff alone. It's just insane.
We joke with the Neo Geo. It's like the I used to call it the BMW of collecting, but now I call it the Corvette of collecting. Because back in the BMW times, you could still afford a BMW. Right now, you can't afford a Corvette, so I'm sorry. It's Corvette. It's now officially the Corvette of game collecting. That, yeah, and sure. the what is it? The PC Engine, like that stuff's out of control.
Yeah, TurboGrafx is getting kind of out of control. I ditched my collection, man. I don't regret it. I ended up with some EverDrives, so that's another conversation for another day. But yeah. Well,
there you go, Getsky. There you go. You're officially. Also, he also hates pineapple pizza. If you can make in the comments below how much you despise him for not liking pineapple pizza, that'd be great. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Like I said before, please support Abar's Kickstarter. It has got 15 days left. We got to get this thing rolling for them, and it's also going to be released later in premium edition games. If you want to save money right now, I would highly suggest doing the pledge instead of doing the order later. You can follow me on GI Gamer 1981 on Facebook, and you can also follow me on Instagram. I throw different things up every day, and I appreciate all you guys supporting us. It's been a lot of fun doing this, and we will see you next week with our retrospectives, and hopefully we can get him up and running on Alien 3. Have a good weekend, guys. Make sure that you open all your games. Don't keep them in plastic. That's dangerous. It will rot and melt them. Just letting you know. That's a real safety thing. See you guys next week. Bye.
Later.